everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you a reading vlog. Hi guys, it is about 5:40 p.m. on Tuesday, the 9th of April. Welcome to a new reading vlog. The first one I'm filming on my phone, so forgive me if I'm not looking in the right spot, because it's very tempting to stare at yourself on the iPhone and not look where the actual camera is. So apologies if that's what I do. It's very tempting on a normal camera as well. Like, I've got a viewfinder where you can see yourself, but the actual camera spot to look is still quite large as well, whereas obviously like on the iPhone, the camera up there, right there, it's real tiny. Anyway, so I got home from work. I was originally going to have boxing tonight, but I'm not going to boxing anymore. My mum called me. She cancelled again, which is fine. She hurt her hand today. Obviously, boxing is a hand thing. And my back is still really sore. And so I have been, to be perfectly honest, very slack about doing the exercises my physio gave me this past week. And I'm not supposed to do them on nights where I have boxing. So I'm going to do my physio exercises. In fact, I'm going to do them as soon as I finish filming this clip. So I've got a night at home, which is lovely because I do have stuff on every night, like for the rest of the week. So let's talk reading update. So in the last clip of the last vlog, so yesterday, I was reading Blood Witch by Kate Tiernan, the third book in the Sweep series and the final book in this particular bind up. And I finished it today on the bus on the way home. I enjoyed it. We are headed towards, I in the second book started to predict that something was going to happen. And I think that we're headed there, which I find quite interesting. I actually think it's very different from what you would normally see in YA books, especially from this time period, this being published in the early 2000s. So I think that's very interesting, but I'm interested to see whether she actually does go down that path, the author, or whether she is just throwing some red herrings out there, and whether it's not going to be that. I would actually prefer for it to be that, because I think it would be a ballsy move. So I did enjoy this one. Like I say, these stories are so short that they do feel a little bit incomplete, but I did enjoy it. I'm giving it 3.5 stars to the third one. So I finished that. I haven't picked up anything since. I finished that on the bus on the way home. The next book that I'm going to be picking up is for my buddy read for BookBuddyAthon with Michelle. However, I haven't managed to touch base properly with Michelle about picking up the book, so I'm not sure what to do about that, because I don't want to start it if she's not ready to start it, but I don't want to pick something else up and then she is ready to start it, and then can you see my dilemma? So I probably will start it tonight, and then if she's not ready to start it, then I can just put it on hold and move on to something else. But hopefully she gets back to me and is ready to kick off with it. But I'm just not sure. Well, I'll just let her know, I guess, how far I get, and then she can probably catch up to where I'm at, because I've only got my evening reading, so it won't be like a humongous amount. I just thought to myself, another good thing about filming on the iPhone is at the top of the screen, like where I can see myself, is the amount of time that I've been filming, which my camera doesn't have that, so I never knew how long I'd been filming for, which maybe will help me with keeping on track for keeping the vlog clips shorter and more succinct. So that's the physical reading. I did continue on with the audiobook today for The Language of Stars. Crap, and I'm filming on my phone and I can't check who it's by. Shit. I feel really bad, but I'll talk about it in depth tomorrow when I actually finish it. It's The Language of Stars. I'm 71% of the way through. This is so I guess I should quickly, this, in case you don't know, is YA paranormal. It's basically about a girl who is moving into Wicca and like discovering some like witchy type powers. The Language of Stars is a YA contemporary. I'm reading this one for the Owls Readathon for the astronomy challenge. That is Winifred hitting the blinds. and it's YA contemporary. It's basically about a girl who falls into a relationship with the school's like popular bad boy, and they end up having a party at this like cottage museum that's like a tribute museum to this really famous poet from their town. He's like really famous like everywhere, but he's from their town, and there's this museum dedicated to him, and they break in and have a party there, and the museum gets completely destroyed. And so through that, they all get like arrested or whatever, and they all have to go into this summer program, like a poetry class being taught by this poet who is now like an elderly man. And that's basically the gist of the story. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I quite enjoyed the trope of a teenager or a young person forming a friendship with someone older, like an elderly person. I always enjoy that type of trope, and this has definitely got that in there. There's a lot of stuff in there about all the poetry and stuff as well, like the talk about poetry and stuff that it's quite enjoyable. I'm actually quite enjoying the writing. Speaking to the audiobook itself, like the format of the audiobook, I don't think it's a particularly great audiobook. There's a few times where she has to do things where the narrator, where she has to say, and then the car made a noise like this, and then she makes the noise like with her mouth. But might sound really mean, but it sounds very much like a little kid. Like at one point she's making noises like, where she's just literally, it would be like me going, and then it was like, nee, 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 like a little kid like making car noises type of thing. It's very off-putting. There's also a couple of different times where it sounds like the narrator's voice changes, but it doesn't. Like it's the same person, or it's supposed to be, but it's like I can hear sometimes the cut and where they stopped recording separate clips and then came back at a different time, and their voice for a moment sounded a little bit different or something. I don't know if that's the case, or it's just a little bit odd. Every now and again they'll just move on to a new sentence, and I'll be like, oh, her voice sounds different all of a sudden. So I'm not really sure what the go is with that. Yeah, and then like I said, just some of the like sound effect type things that she's trying to do with her voice are a bit odd. But I'm not an audiobook like snob. I've said that before. I am enjoying the book for the most part. I'm 71% of the way through, so I will finish that off tomorrow. And a new audiobook came off hold today, which I'll probably, I might start that tomorrow to try get another one in for the rest of the week, because I've realized, so next week is the short week for Easter. We've got Good Friday where we don't have work, and then I've got the 10 days off, and I have so many audiobooks on hold, and quite a lot of them are at the like available soon time where I think they're going to start to become off hold. And then I'm like, of course that's what's going to happen, is I haven't had that many coming off hold recently, and then I'll be off work for 10 days when I won't have much audiobook listening time, and I'll have a bunch of audiobooks all come off hold together. So I do want to try get through as many of the ones as possible before I go on leave, so that hopefully if ones do come off hold, I can just get to them when I go back to work, and I don't have to worry about them being returned to the library like without me getting to them, because some of them I've had on hold for a really long time. So anyway, I can see on the time that this clip's going a little bit longer than I would like for it to, so I'm going to cut myself off. I will talk to you guys when I get home from work tomorrow. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is about 5:55 p.m. on Wednesday, the 10th of April. I actually just got home from work. I left work late today, which sucks. But I'm home now. I fed the cat. I have a massage tonight. I need to leave in about 20 minutes. 15 minutes, whatever. I need to leave soon. So let's get through this reading update real quick, because I got a lot to talk about once again. So, I started Watching You by Lisa Jewell last night. This is a NetGalley read. It's my buddy read for BookBuddyAthon. It is a thriller novel. It's basically set in a town or an area, I guess, in the UK. And we know that someone has died. And then we go back several months before, and we just kind of get different perspectives from people living in this area. And I guess it's all going to unravel what happened to this person who died, etc. I read 13% of that last night. As I mentioned, this is the buddy read I'm doing with Michelle. Michelle hasn't started it yet, so I read the 13% last night. I've put it to the side, and now I'm waiting for Michelle to start it and catch up before I read any more of that. So I read 13% of that last night, so I don't really have too many thoughts yet because I'm so early on. So because I started that last night, and then I didn't want to go on with that because Michelle hadn't started it yet. I picked up Giant Days by Non Pratt. This is the novelization of the graphic novel. So I started this. This is the book I took with me to work. I didn't do very much reading. I didn't read it all on the bus on the way to work, and then I didn't do I read a little bit on my lunch break, but I think I read like 8 pages. But I'm currently on page 54, so I read this mainly on the bus on the way home. This I'm going to use for the prompt for... It's to read a comfort read. I can't remember what show that prompt relates to for BookBuddyAthon. And I'm also using it for the Owls Readathon for... Again, I can't remember what owl it is, but the prompt is to read... I think it's Transfiguration. It's to read a book with a red cover or sprayed edges. This obviously doesn't have sprayed edges, but the cover is red. And so I've read 54 pages. I'm really enjoying it so far. There's already been several quotes which I wrote down in my phone, but because I'm recording, freaking hell, I keep pulling my hair, because I'm recording on my phone, I can't show you guys. But let me see, I haven't read that much, so let me see if I can quickly flick and find a couple of them that I just thought have been really funny. There's one right there. So there was a quote that said, "She waited patiently as the barman prepared coffee with all the urgency of a Windows update." And I just thought that was really funny. Then there was another thing that I just really liked, this kind of call out. So she's talking to this guy and he's explaining someone, and he says, "Nice chap, some kind of accent, sounds a little Welsh or a little Indian, something like that." And then the descriptor is, "Jonathan sounded a little racist," or something like that. And I just thought that was really like sarcastic, and I found that really funny. And then the main thing that I really loved, yeah, here it is. So this is a descriptor of McGraw. If you guys know, if you've heard me talking about the Giant Days graphic novels, then you know McGraw is like my favorite character ever. He is basically my #1 book boyfriend of all time. And the descriptor of him in this, I literally laughed out loud on the bus on the way home. It says, "This mahogany-voiced vision of mustachioed manliness." And I just was giggling to myself. I thought it was so funny. So yeah, this is really enjoying that so far. So that's those books. Onto audiobooks. So I finished the audiobook today for The Language of Stars by Louise Hawes. So I finished that, which means I officially completed my owl for astronomy, which means I am officially... Professor Flitwick needs to move over, y'all, because I am the new Charms Hogwarts professor, or I will be. I'm on track to be. I've passed the 7 owls that I need to be the Charms professor. So I was really happy with that. So this I really enjoyed. I really liked the poetry type writing of it. There's a romance-ish part of this book, but it's not the typical thing that you would expect from a YA romance, and I really, really, really appreciated that. I thought it was... I can't really talk about it without spoiling it, but without spoiling some of the aspects of the book, but it was really... I really appreciated that the author didn't feel like she had to go down the path of kind of the typical YA romance. Like I mentioned, I really enjoyed the whole aspects of, you know, the friendship between an older person and a younger person, and all the poetic stuff in there I really, really enjoyed. So I'm giving that 3.5 stars. I did really enjoy that. And then I finished that, so I started a new audiobook today. So I've started the audiobook for Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. So I listened to 21% of that in the afternoon after I finished Language of Stars. And so far I'm enjoying it for the most part. It's a little bit slow. There's not really much happening, but I enjoy the main character for the most part, and I'm actually quite enjoying the audiobook. And there's a romancy type thing that's kind of been hinted at that I think I'm going to be pretty into, if I'm being honest. So some interesting signs there for that, but I've 21% of that. Hopefully I can maybe finish that tomorrow, but I should definitely get a really good chunk of the way through that. So I still haven't heard from Michelle about Watching You, so I will be probably focusing on this tonight when I get back from my massage. I edited all of this vlog, the vlog from before this, last night. So I just need to add in the intro, outro, and then export that. So hopefully I can do that tonight when I get home, because that shouldn't take too much time at all. And then I'll have that done for the week. And yeah, then when I talk to you guys tomorrow, I should have read a chunk of this. Maybe I should have read some more of Watching You on my Kindle, maybe, depending if Michelle manages to get it started, and I'll have more thoughts on Daughter of the Pirate King. So far April has just been an amazing reading month, and I look forward to talking to you guys about more reading tomorrow when I get home from work. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is about 4:45 p.m. on Thursday the 11th of April. So turn of events, I was off work today. I don't want to go into like too many specifics because I know some people don't want to hear about it, but I was awake for about 3.5 hours last night in the middle of the night with terrible cramps. So I saw my doctor today. We're instituting a new birth control plan, which hopefully will help with my issues, because it's been getting increasingly worse month to month. So anyway, I ended up missing work today because the only appointment, I booked this appointment in a, panic at like 2 a.m. this morning. And the only appointment I could get all day was at 11 a.m. So it was like smack bang in the middle of the day. So I emailed my boss and just said, I've got a medical issue, and the only appointment I can get is 11 o'clock. So there would have been no point me going in. I would have been at work for like an hour before I would have had to turn around to get the bus home. Then by the time the appointment finished and I got the bus back into work, I probably would have only been there for like 2.5, 3 hours before I would have had to come home again. Anyway, I was also originally supposed to have boxing tonight, but we've cancelled once again. I now haven't been for 2 weeks in a row, but I was happy with this decision. I called my mum after I left the doctor's, and I said to her, do you still want to go tonight? If you want to go, I'm happy to go. But I haven't been feeling the greatest, and her hand was still a little bit sore, so we've decided to leave today and then get back into it fully next week. So fingers crossed. So hopefully this is a bit of a quick clip, because I don't have a lot to talk to you guys about, because I wasn't at work. I didn't finish my audiobook. So hopefully I can get that finished tomorrow. So I'm still just reading. I haven't continued on in my buddy read yet. Michelle is yet to get started, so hopefully I'll speak to her a little bit later on and see where she's at. She was planning to pick it up like tonight, like her time. So hopefully she gets to that soon, and then I can move on to some more, because I did enjoy the little part of it that I'd read so far. So I am just reading Giant Days by Non Pratt. And I am on page 194. This is yet another short book. This is only 283 pages long. So, is that chocolate? It is. I don't even know what that's from. There's melted chocolate on my book. How embarrassing. There was melted chocolate on this, but I read like half a chapter last night at one of the points when I thought that I was starting to feel a little bit better and was trying to get myself sleepy to go back to sleep. And then I've read a little bit today while I've been home, but I'm definitely going to be able to finish this tonight because I've got less than 100 pages to go. Now I don't have boxing tonight, so I can get this finished. Before I even picked this up, the next book that I'm actually technically due to pick up is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, which is my book for the prompt for BookBuddyAthon of reading a book recommended to me, because that was the one Michelle recommended to me. I'm so excited to read that, but I'm just putting that on the back burner until after I finish the buddy read of Watching You, because I don't want to have the two thrillers going on at the same time, and I'm probably going to be buddy reading The Silent Patient with Mel, and so I don't want to have the two buddy reads and the two thrillers going on at once, because I just think that'll get me really muddled and confused. So as soon as I finish the buddy read of Watching You, and then I'll finish whatever like side book I've got going on at that time, I'll then move on to The Silent Patient straight after that, but because I'm really excited to pick that one up. But I'm getting some good reading done. I say this completes a prompt for both BookBuddyAthon and ours. Oh, I also wanted to mention one other thing that I was really happy about is one evening a couple of nights ago, I actually spent a chunk of the evening going through the extensive list of books for the Rory Gilmore reading challenge, because one of the prompts for BookBuddyAthon is to read for the Gilmore Girls prompt, coincidentally, is to read a book off the Gilmore Girls reading challenge, the Rory Gilmore reading challenge, sorry. And so I went through, and as I was looking, because I just wanted to be aware of all of the books on my TBR that I could possibly read, because it's one that I'm not convinced I was going to get to. And so I wanted to have an idea of like the 3 or 4 options that I might squeeze in at the end of the month if I ended up having time. And lo and behold, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe was on the list, which is the book poem that I read earlier in the month for Owl's Readathon. So I can now say that I checked that one off for the Gilmore Girls prompt for BookBuddyAthon. So that's another one checked off. I also did I'm going to do a couple of shout outs throughout the month on Twitter. So if you're not already following me on Twitter, do so, because I'll be doing a few book lover shout outs on there. So I did my first one yesterday, so I've checked that one off as well. So I am making good progress on my bingo board. So hopefully I can still get to a lot more books. And I actually had a look at my TBR and my books that I have on hold from the library, and I think that I have one that's possibly going to come in this month that has an animal on the cover. So that's another one that I didn't think I was going to be able to get to for Owls, that I now think I could possibly check off the challenge for Care of Magical Creatures. So I think the only prompt now from Owls that I'm maybe not going to check off is the prompt for divination, to read a book set in the future. So if I end up checking all of the rest of them off, and I still have time, I might have to scour my shelves for something set in the future, because I'm not a big sci-fi reader, so I'm not sure what I've got. I know I have at least one book on my TBR that I'm pretty sure would fit, but it's the first book in a series, and I really don't want to start a new series right now, so we'll see whether I end up. I mean, it's not a big deal. I will have completely succeeded in Owls. I've completed all the Owls I needed to for my career. I will have hit the 9 definitely to get exceeds expectations. So it's exceeds expectations? No, outstanding. And so it's not a big deal, but I just thought that would be nice as well. So anyway, I'm going to go now. I will check in with you guys when I get home from work tomorrow. By then, I should have finished this, possibly started something new as well, or have further thoughts on Watching You, and I should hopefully have the last of my thoughts on my audiobook for The Daughter of the Pirate King, so hopefully I get that finished as well. So yeah, that's it. I think I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is about 5:35 p.m. on Friday the 12th of April. I just got home from work. It's Friday, always a good thing. I don't have too many weekend plans at all this weekend. My sister is away. She's gone up to where they'll soon be moving, where her husband has already moved for a couple of weeks. So she's not here, so I'm not doing Buffy and Angel. So tonight I'm just at home, and then tomorrow I've got coffee, back to coffee this week, which is fantastic. But that is it. That is basically my weekend plans. I've got a few errands and things I want to run tomorrow. I want to go, I need to go to the library. There's another store that I've been meaning to go to for weeks and just keep forgetting to do. So I want to go there, things like that. And then the rest of the weekend, I'm going to plan to not relax during the day on either Saturday or Sunday. I'm putting it out there now. I'm only relaxing in the evenings and at night, because I want to be really, really, really productive this weekend. I want to get as much done around the house as possible this weekend, because next week, the 4 days, Monday through Thursday, is the week until we are on Easter. Then my last 4 days at work, and then I've got the 10 days off, and I want to spend as much of that 10 days as possible relaxing. So I want to get as much done this weekend, so I just have less to think about and worry about when I'm off work. That is the plan. So that's weekend plans. Reading update. So allow me to reach for my book, because I left it on the wrong side of me. So I finished Giant Days last night by Non Pratt. So this completed the Owl for Transfiguration, for reading a book with a red cover, and the BookBuddyAthon prompt for Glee, for reading a comfort read. I really enjoyed this. I think that, have I mentioned what this is about? So the general gist of this, it's kind of new adult, it's contemporary, it's about three best friends in their first year of university in the UK, and just kind of the trials and tribulations of their lives. I really enjoyed it. I thought that Non Pratt, it's based on the graphic novel, and I thought Non Pratt did a really good job of capturing, like, the characterization of the characters was pretty on point in my opinion. I thought that she captured the humor pretty well. I did miss the art, because the artwork in the Giant Days graphic novels is art that I really, really enjoy, and I think that adds to the comedic element, seeing all their facial expressions and all the, like, craziness. Like, visually I really enjoy. So I probably didn't enjoy this as much as I did the first few volumes of the graphic novel, but I did still think this was a lot of fun and just really enjoyable. So I gave this 4 stars. It's maybe higher than I would give a book like this same book if it wasn't connected to the graphic novel series, but there's a lot of almost nostalgia connected to it that it did make my enjoyment level just so high. So like I said, so I gave that 4 stars. I then finished the audiobook today for Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I finished that on the bus on the way home, and I enjoyed that as well. So the general plot of this is, it's literally just about a girl who's the daughter of the Pirate King, who at the very start of the novel is on a ship, and she gets captured by this other pirate ship. Come to find out, like, this isn't a spoiler, it's early on, that she meant to be captured because she has a whole plan, whatever. I guess a criticism of this book that I would have is that it is very light on in terms of plot. I enjoyed this for the characters. The main female character, Alosa, I really enjoyed. She's a pretty, like, badass female character. You know, she's the daughter of this pirate king, and she has, you know, she is really, like, tough and has learned to fight, and I really liked that they didn't shy away from that either. Like, she kills a few people in the book and stuff. It's not just, like, all talk, no action, which I appreciated. I really enjoyed the romance in there. The only thing with that is that I kind of almost wanted more. I wanted it to be, like, built up even more, and to be even, like, to burn just that little bit, like, not slower, because it's not like this was insta-lovey or anything like that, but I wanted more from it for it to really start to, like, you know, feel that deep burn for the romance. I'm hoping we're going to get a lot more from that in the second book. Which my library also has that audiobook, so I put that one on hold. So it's just a duology, I believe, as well. So that's great. So I also wanted more from it in terms of that we know that this character comes from this ship of this kind of group of female pirates, but because we're following her mainly on this ship that she's being captured on, we don't get a whole lot of this ship of female pirates, and, like, I feel like I would really have enjoyed even more of that and stuff as well. So I did really enjoy it, but I felt like it maybe could have used some work, but I did really enjoy myself reading it, so I gave that 3.5 stars. So that's that. I have been continuing on with my read of Watching You by Lisa Jewell, my buddy read with Michelle. So Michelle had caught up to where I was last night, so I read another 5 chapters because I knew today was going to be light on for reading. So I had an appointment this morning at 8. Normally I'm at work by 8, but I had this appointment that I had to go to that was at 8 o'clock. It was just like a podiatrist appointment for my feet. Fun fact about me, I have incredibly flat feet. Not fat, flat. And I also have short big toe, which apparently is a bad combination. Anyway, so I had that at 8 o'clock. So luckily my mum was able to take me to the appointment and then drop me at the interchange, because my appointment was at that kind of time that even for me to drive to the interchange, I don't think I would have got a park at the interchange because it fills up, like, fairly early, and I was going to be going so late. So she was able to drop me there, but I didn't get to work till 9:30. And because I had the shorter bus ride, didn't read on the bus, worked straight through lunch to, like, make up the time that I'd missed. And then I only read on the bus on the way home. So I read another 5 chapters on the bus on the way home. So I'm 29% of the way through that. I am really enjoying it. I've read another book by Lisa Jewell quite recently, and I didn't think the thriller parts of that book were particularly well done, but I did enjoy the writing. And this one is much more thrillery in nature from what I can tell, and I'm enjoying the writing as I did in the other book. I think she's created the tension and that already quite well in this story, that I already feel quite unsettled. There's a lot of, this book involves a lot of people just kind of watching, as the title would suggest, each other, and it leaves this very like creepy, like, you just feel like everyone's being watched all the time and everyone's spying on everyone else. It's very like unsettling kind of vibe to it, which I enjoy. So yeah, I think I'm about 29% of the way through that. I've got another 10 chapters I think that I'll probably read tonight, to then catch up to read up to where I think we agreed that we would get to today. And then I'll wait for Michelle to catch up and then hopefully read some more of that tomorrow. I will be picking up another physical book this week, and I think I'm going to move on to the next book in the Sweep series and read that kind of as my in-between book until I finish the buddy read. So trying to think if there's anything else that I need to report. I don't think so. I think that's it for the reading update. So yeah, that is it. I will talk to you guys at some point during the day tomorrow, when probably from my car somewhere, because like I said, I've got a few errands and stuff that I want to run tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys then. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is 3:52 p.m. on Saturday the 13th of April. I didn't end up filming a clip in the car, only because when I was out and about this morning, I had done hardly any reading, so I wouldn't have really had anything to talk to you guys about. Hi. So today I had mentioned that I wanted to be really productive both days of my weekend. And so far I've been productive, but not as productive as I would have liked. I went for coffee and stuff this morning, like I mentioned. And then I went and did my errands that I wanted to do. So I went to the library, picked up some things that I'd been meaning to get for ages. And then when I came home, I have been productive. Like I did the things that, ow, she just slipped off me and dug her claws in. Honey, you're hurting me. Ow, ow, ow. Don't, because you make pulls on my jeans. Yeah, so I did those things, and then I've done some washing, and there hasn't been any time when I haven't really been like doing something, but I definitely still have a lot that I need to do. But I'm probably gonna, once I finish filming this clip, I forgot to mention, I planned out and filmed 2 videos. One of them I want to edit tonight because I want it to go up tomorrow, but as I mentioned, one of the downsides to filming on the camera is waiting for the videos to go onto the cloud so that I can edit them. It seems to take quite a while, even though neither of the videos that I filmed were super, super long. So hopefully they go up a little bit later on and then I can edit them. So I probably, once I finish filming this clip, we'll do another hour or so of stuff around the house. And then tomorrow is going to be the day where I really try to get, like, I've got all of the kind of, faffing around stuff done today, and then hopefully can be really productive tomorrow. So, reading update. So I read some more of Watching You last night, and I've read another part of it today. So I basically have read now the portion that I was supposed to read yesterday, which means I'm 40% of the way through. And then I stopped there because Michelle's still, I'm still ahead of where Michelle is. So I'm waiting for her to catch up before I continue on. So I put that to the side. And so I picked up, this is the second bind up. This is my favorite of the 5 bind ups because it's purple mainly. And I do like the moon. And so this is the second bind up. So I'm reading book 4, which is Dark Magic. As you can see, magic with a K. And so again, these are really short. This one goes back to being under 200 pages. I think it's 180 something. Let me check. That's 186 pages. So I'm currently on page 70. So I'm like not that far off being halfway through this, and I just started this today. So possibly I could finish this tonight, but it depends how much reading I do this afternoon, because like I said, I'm going to do work for like another hour or so, and then I'm going to settle in for the evening, probably order some Uber Eats tonight, and cozy down with a couple of movies or something like that, and then yeah, that's really it. Those are my plans. And then tomorrow when I get up, hopefully I don't want to go to bed super late because I want to get up at a good time tomorrow and tackle all this crap around the house, as much of it as I can get done tomorrow. Because I'm not going out to coffee or any of that. Like, tomorrow is my main day where I'm going to be like super productive. I suspect that means I'm going to hopefully get a lot of reading done too, because I am planning to do my usual, like I've mentioned a million times, where I'll do work while I watch like 3 or 4 YouTube videos, and then we'll read like a chapter maybe of this or whatever I've moved on to, and then repeat process and get as much done, and hopefully get a bit of reading done, a lot of booktube and stuff watched, because I'm still really behind on booktube. So the page with my video on it just asked me to re-sign in. Maybe that means the video. Let's sign in live. This is a really ugly angle, and see. Ugh. I'm sorry. Oh, I just put the password in the wrong field. God, I'm an idiot. Ugh. Now Winifred's standing in front of the laptop so that I can't. Honey. Yeah, you're gonna have to move out of the way. Good girl. She really wants me to feed her right now, even though it is really far from her dinner time. I got up, I was sitting on my bed a little while ago, and I got up off the bed, and as I got up off the bed, she raced into the kitchen, like as if it was feeding time, and it was like 3 o'clock. I was like, no. I don't know if it did work. And now she's hanging around me like a bad smell, because she wants. Don't ya? You're so cute. The video is just trying to load. No, it didn't. It didn't load yet, so still waiting for that. But anyway, so I'm going to go now, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully I'll be reporting that I've had such a productive day. I've done so much reading, watched so much booktube, and have got so much done around the house. So that's the plan. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, it is about 5:15 p.m. on Sunday, the 14th of April, I think. Is it the 14th? I think it is. Please excuse my appearance. I know I look like trash. I'm about to head around to my parents' place for dinner. Sometimes I shower before I go around to my parents, but not today. And I have literally the most gigantic pimple of all time on my forehead right now, and it is real sore. So today was nowhere near as productive as I would have liked, because I'm a terrible human. I did some stuff, don't get me wrong. So I got up later than I wanted to. I ended up having quite a late night. Slept later than I wanted to. And then, despite the fact that I went to bed really late last night, neither of the videos that I filmed managed to get onto the cloud before I went to bed. So I still needed to edit them today. So I edited and uploaded both of those videos. So one of them's live already, my marked as to read video, and you guys will see the booktube community tag. I've scheduled that to upload as well, and I started editing the clips from this vlog. So in terms of my channel, was really productive this weekend. So I've already edited like 2 or 3 of the clips from this vlog, so to just be a bit more on top of that, because that'll need to go up during the week as well. And then I did some stuff, like I did a little bit of tidying, and I hard-boiled eggs that I want to take in to work this week for my lunches. So I hard-boiled some eggs, but apart from that, I didn't do a whole lot. I actually really need to. I just cleaned my face, but I didn't moisturize, and my skin feels really dry, so I need to go moisturize my face before I leave for my parents. Anyway, on to a quick reading update. So Also, in editing the first couple of clips from this vlog, I have realized that I'm a lot shakier. The iPhone is a lot shakier than when I hold the camera, so I apologize. I will work on that and try not to be so shaky. So, I finished the first book in the sweep series, Dark Magic. I didn't finish it yesterday, but I finished it today. So Dark Magic, finished it. It definitely, this is now the 4th book in the series, and things get a lot darker in this installment, which I appreciated. I also think that for the 4th book in a series, she went down some paths that I didn't expect her to go, which I appreciate. And we have the mention in this of like a female, like potential female romance, which again, for a book published, I'm not sure when this one would have been published, but these are like early 2000s. Let me see when this one was published. It says 2001, which means all 4 of the first books were published in 2001. So she was real pumping them out, but I guess they are really short. So yeah, like, so for a book published in 2001, for it to have a female relationship like possibly gonna happen in here as well, or even like for it to be mentioned as like a possible thing, I was quite surprised. So appreciated that, and I enjoyed it, and I look forward to reading the next one. So I gave that 3.5 stars. So I've then started, so I haven't read any more of Watching You. It's my Kindle. I'm still reading Watching You, but I haven't read any more of it yet. I was talking with Michelle earlier today. We're talking back and forth, and she was doing some reading on it, but I don't think she's quite caught up to where I am. So she may catch up. I'll send her a message probably while I'm at my parents' place and see where she's at. And I don't think I'll read any of this tonight to give her the chance to really catch up, but then I'll probably be picking this back up tomorrow and reading probably like another 20 chapters tomorrow. So still reading that. So I'm still 40% of the way through that. But on my Kindle, so for the next book I need to pick up, there was a Kindle backlist book. So I went into my Kindle and found the oldest book on there, and it turned out to be another one. So my copy of it from when I purchased it is, so it's What Lies Beneath by Clover Donovan. So this is the same author who wrote Wicked that I read earlier this month. That is, so when I found it on Goodreads, though, it is actually listed on Goodreads as being by Richard Denny, not under Clover Donovan, so I assume that he's like changed that since, but when I purchased it, it was by Clover Donovan. So this is another one by the BookTuber. Again, very short, because I only read like a chapter. I read like the prologue and then the first chapter, and I'm 11% of the way through, and according to like the bit on the bottom of the Kindle, which is never accurate, but it does say that I've only got 44 minutes left in the book, and I've literally only just started it because I think it's only like 170 pages. So I'm not exactly clear what it's about so far, but it seems to just basically be about a teenage girl who wakes up in the hospital and is being told, why am I holding it like that means anything to you? Who is being told that her boyfriend, who she had a fairly good relationship with, has tried to murder her. However, so that's kind of what's happening in the first chapter. I was just really shaky, I'm sorry. In the prologue, we kind of got hints of her saying, like, we kind of get a flash to the attempted drowning, and it seems like she thinks that he's been like, she's making comments like, oh, he's possessed or whatever. So I presume that like maybe there's going to be some supernatural shit going on. So yeah, that's what I'm reading on that. So I have 2 audiobooks that have come in over the weekend as well that I'll be able to start next week. Hopefully I can get through both of those in the 4 working days that we've got this week, because it is the shorter week because of Easter. Hallelujah. So I'll be starting one of those tomorrow. So I highly predict that I'll probably, when I speak to you guys tomorrow, have finished What Lies Beneath, and we'll have had a new audiobook to start to talk to you guys about. Oh, actually, I might not finish What Lies Beneath because I may end up reading Watching You tomorrow, but I'll probably make good progress on What Lies Beneath just tonight, and then we'll start an audiobook tomorrow and possibly be doing Watching You tomorrow. So anyway, that is it. I need to go now because I'm really late to head around to my parents' place, and my skin on my face feels awful. I really need to moisturize. So I will talk to you guys again tomorrow when I get home from work. Bye, guys. Hi guys, it is about 5:45 p.m. on Monday the 15th of April. I got home from work a little while ago, and then I have been doing some reading, so I'll update you guys. So I didn't get a huge amount read last night. I ended up catching up on a few things that I had recorded, like from the TV, and caught up on those. And yeah, I just didn't do a whole lot of reading yesterday. So I read another like chapter or so in, I think just another chapter in What Lies Beneath by Clover Donovan / Richard Denny. So I'm now 19% of the way through that. So I got 19% of the way through that last night. And then today, Michelle had caught up to where I was on Watching You. And in fact, she surpassed me at the moment. So I've done more reading on that. So I've been doing more reading on that. I'm 65% of the way through Watching You at the moment, and I'm still, I think, about 8 chapters behind where Michelle is. I actually just recorded my update on the chapters that I read and sent to her when I got home. So I don't really have much more to report on What Lies Beneath because I've only read like a chapter, but Watching You I am enjoying. It's very, I think the author is doing a good job of leaving us very wrong-footed. I don't know how to feel about most of the characters. They're all very flawed characters for the most part, and you get perspectives of people, and I'm like, no, I think maybe, because you get it from different people's perspectives. So we're seeing like one character for the main part from different people's perspectives, and through that we get opinions of him that are where we think, oh, he does seem like he's a good guy, and then we'll get opinions from other people where we're like, oh, maybe he's not such a good guy. And then even the same with the characters, because we'll get their perspective and see it from their point of view, but then we get other people seeing them. And again, they're all pretty flawed characters. And so it leaves us feeling we're not sure really, not necessarily who to trust, but are any of these people good? Are their motivations good? Is anyone doing or saying the right things? Or, if you know what I mean? And everyone, like I've said, it is very much about all these people living on this street, and they're all kind of watching and spying on each other, and not like spying so much. Some of them are actively spying, but some of them are just real freaking busybodies. And like, I get that human nature is very like curious, and we all like to kind of know what's going on in everyone's business, but this is like full on. And I've talked about it with Michelle about how it leaves me feeling very unsettled and it leaves the reader feeling very unsettled and very like creeped out in a way, even though it's not like even necessarily in an actively malicious way, but just the thought of people watching each other all the time and people like seeing things about you and assuming things about you does just leave me feeling very like, ugh, unsettled. So like I said, 65% of the way through that. I have knitting group tonight, so I don't think I'll get anything read before I have to leave for knitting group, but I'm hoping to read 10 chapters tonight, and then maybe we'll get the last of it read tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'll speak to Michelle and see what we think. So there's that. I did start a new audiobook today as well. So I've started the audiobook today for Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton. So this is an Australian literary fiction book. It was actually published in Australia in, I think, June last year. So it's been out for a while here, but it has very recently come out. I think at the start of April it was published in the US. Or not, maybe not in the US, but in the UK, or maybe both, I'm not sure. But so this is, I've seen it going around a lot. It is a very like quite hyped in Australia. I see it on a lot of the emails from like local booksellers and things like that. So it's kind of hard to explain what it's about. It's about a boy growing up in kind of a working class area, I guess you would say, in the early 80s in Brisbane. And the synopsis basically describes it as like his dad is he's not missing, but his dad isn't in the picture. His mum's in jail. His brother doesn't talk. His best friend is a convicted murderer, and just all of these things. But where we start the story, we kind of start before a lot of that detail happens, and we basically are just following this boy in his life, kind of. There are, I think, some magical realism things, I think, but I'm not even really sure of that. It is very, I'm actually in, so like I said, when I saw that my library got this on audio, I thought I'm going to give this a go because it is being like pushed around a lot in Australia at the moment. So I thought I want to see what it's all about, even though I didn't think that I would like it, because quite typically these really like hyped literary books are not my cup of tea. I'm enjoying this quite a lot, surprisingly. Like I've surprised myself with it by how much I'm enjoying it. The writing is very crude, I guess you could say. Like, we're in the perspective of this boy who's like 12, 13. Like, and so it's got things in it like there was a slur against mentally handicapped people used. It's a word that I hate, But at the same time, while I don't enjoy hearing it in the book, it makes sense to hear it. It's a 13-year-old boy growing up in the early 80s in a working class area. Like, that word for sure would have been used in the context that it was used in the book. And it is like a very crude, like there's a lot of swearing. Like they're growing up in a very lower socioeconomic area where all of the adults are swearing and the kids are swearing, and especially because they are at that age where, and especially with boys, where I feel like boys are starting to swear and stuff to like show how manly and stuff they are with their swearing language. And so it does feel, it's crude, but it makes sense in the context of the story. I like the perspective from Eli, the main boy who we're following. His life is so vastly different from mine, but he's such like an interesting voice. He's got such an interesting voice. And yeah, I don't even really, it's very hard for me to talk about because there's so much in there that I don't know if it would be kind of spoilery to say. And for big chunks of it, don't actually really know what's going on, but at the same time I am enjoying it. I really enjoy the writing of it, I really do. So did I say I'm 40% of the way through that? So I'm hoping to get another really decent chunk of the way through that tomorrow, because I do have another audiobook that's come in that I want to also get done this week, and we've got the short week this week. So there's that. I also should mention that Boy Swallows Universe does work for the challenge for Owl's Readathon. It works for the Owl for Care of Magical Creatures, which is to have a land animal on the cover, because this book has a bird on the cover, which this is quite embarrassingly stupid for me to even think, but at first I was like, oh, does a bird count as a land animal because it flies? And then I was like, I don't think that's like, there's not like air animals, right? It's just more like land and sea creatures. And it's definitely not a sea creature. So it counts as a land animal, right? I think it does. I feel really dumb, but I'm pretty sure it does. And so it works for that. And I think it will also work for BookBuddyAthon for the prompt for, I'm not sure. Oh, it's Dawson's Creek, I think, to read a book that's over 400 pages. This is the first book I've picked up all month that has over 400 pages. I believe this is an over 500 page book, which is why the audiobook's taken me a little bit longer to get through, because I think it's about a 17-hour audiobook. But like I said, I am enjoying that. So that's kind of it for this clip. I will continue on with the audiobook tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be making good progress on watching you tonight, and even more tomorrow. Once I finish watching you, I will make my way back to What Lies Beneath. But yeah, some good reading progress. Please ignore this gigantic mountain on my face. And yeah, I will talk to you guys when I get home from work tomorrow. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is about 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 16th of April. So I'm checking in a bit later today than usual. I had physio straight after work, which was actually late too. My bus was really late. And then I had to go straight from physio to do something else. Something else that hopefully I'll be touching on next week, because something good should be coming out of that. But I'll get into that in the next vlog. So I did that, came home, had some dinner, and now I'm filming this update. So, I got some good reading done today, I guess. I finished my buddy read of Watching You by Lisa Jewell with Michelle today. We both quite enjoyed it. I think Michelle's tossing up somewhere between a 4 and a 5 star. She's not exactly sure what her rating's going to be yet. She's kind of mulling it over. I'm going with a 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed it for the most part. It's not a perfect book, but I think the author did a really good job of, I've mentioned, I think throughout this vlog, that the kind of unsettling, uncomfortable vibe that she creates, I think she did a really stellar job with that. What else? I guessed a lot of aspects of this kind of mystery, but there were things in there that I kind of didn't see. Like there's a lot of like pieces to this, and I didn't pick up on everything, which I always like. And I like that all of the characters were really flawed, and she didn't go for a really cookie cutter happy ending either, which I also really appreciated. So for the most part, very much enjoyed like I said, 4.25 stars. So I finished that on my lunch break, and then I didn't end up reading on the bus on the way home because I was trying to listen to as much of my audiobook as I could because I want to. So I continued on with the audiobook for Boy Swallows Universe by is it Trent Dalton? I think. And I'm 83% of the way through that, but I wanted to get as far as the way through that because I really need to finish that and start another audiobook tomorrow if I'm going to get the 2 audiobooks done this week, which I really want to because I don't want to have the due dates for those hanging over my head because I won't be getting to any audiobooks while I'm off work for the next, like for the 10 days coming up. So yes, but I think that should be doable now. So I'm 83% of the way through that, still really enjoying it. I really enjoy the main character and his voice, and I really enjoy the writing. It's not really a lot else I can say. I'm really interested to see where the story ends up. So enjoying that. So I'm still 19% of the way through What Lies Beneath, by Richard Denny / Clover Donovan. So that's my book that I'll now go on to, and I'll finish that. I probably will get that finished tomorrow because even though I'm only 19% of the way through, it's a very short book. I think it's under 200 pages. So I'll finish that and then I'll move on to my next read. So it is the last clip of this vlog. So I thought we should touch on the readathons and talk about where I'm at with the readathons. So for owls, I think the only owls, because I checked off so many in the first 8 days, I think the only ones that I officially checked off in this vlog were the Transfiguration Owl, which was the one to read sprayed edges or a red cover, which I used Giant Days for. What else? I think that's it. I can't remember if I did Charms in this week, which is the adult one, or if I'd already done that last week, and similar for Astronomy. Star. I know I used the audio. I'm trying to think whether I finished the audiobook in this vlog or the last vlog. I can't remember. But so in total, I've checked off Arithmancy, Defense Against the Dark Arts, History of Magic, Transfiguration, Charms, Herbology, Astronomy, and Potions. And I'm almost done with Care of Magical Creatures, which is Boy Swallows Universe, works for that. So I'm at this stage, not including that one, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 owls of the possible 12. And I know that I should definitely be able to finish the one for Care of Magical Creatures, like I said, and I'm pretty sure that the next audiobook that I'll be starting tomorrow, I think that will work for Muggle Studies. So then the only ones I still need to check off are Divination and Ancient Runes. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So then on to BookBuddyAthon. Let me turn the page in this. So again, I think the majority of these I had checked, that I've checked off were already checked off prior to this week. The ones I know I completed this week are, so Gilmore Girls, the book of the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge. I actually checked that off last week, but I didn't realize until in this week. So I've now marked that off the bingo board. I also obviously have now completed the Friends Challenge for doing a buddy read, reading a book with your buddy. I've checked that off officially. And then the other one I checked off this week was the prompt for, what's it called? What was that prompt? Glee, for reading a comfort read, which I used the Giant Days novel for that as well. So I've checked off 3, I think, of that this week, which is not too bad. So now I think there are 16 total for this, and I've checked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm over halfway through that as well. I will put a bingo board, a copy of the bingo board here with the updated bingo board with which ones I've checked off. And I know that once I finish What Lies Beneath, the next book that I'll be picking up for, the next book I'll be picking up I know works for one of these challenges. So once I've done that one, I might start to think about, and I'm currently working on one. Boy Swallows Universe works for the Dawson's Creek prompt for this one as well. So I've got 2 that I know I'll definitely be checking off, and then I will start to look at the other ones and see if I can pick up specific books to check them off or what I need to do. So I'm really happy with my progress. But yeah, that is it for this vlog now, I think, and I will see you guys in the outro. Bye. I hope that you guys enjoyed this most recent reading vlog for April. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below if you've got any thoughts on any of the books that I've been reading, or to chat about how your reading is going. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. That is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.